Ciao. You know, of all the places I've ever been in the world, I think the funniest response to Western conservatism is in Italy. I mean, I've been in many films that were banned from the United States or got an X rating because the director used full frontal female nudity within the film, and a lot of problems happened back in the 80s and whatnot. I mean, some of these films are available today in the U.S. quite easily. And these are films by Lucio Fulci and Diodetto. And it's really hilarious. Lamberto Bava, when he originally tried to release Fantaghiro to the United States, ran into a similar problem. Now, Fantaghiro is pretty much a fantastic family thing. And he sat there and he said, I want to see about getting this to the US. And he contacted Walt Disney. And I said, well, okay, I'll join the meeting with you. I probably should have warned you first, but I'll join the meeting with you. And he was showing the scenes to representative of Walt Disney. And they said, it's a wonderful film, Lamberto. It really is. We wouldn't mind it, but we do have to make a few changes. And Lamberto went, what, you're going to change my masterpiece? Never. And, I mean, that's Lamberto, and he has every right to be offended by it, because in Italy, you don't think twice about showing the sex of a baby. It's even almost guaranteed you're going to as a director. And that's what he did in Fantaghiro. And they wanted that scene cut. And they wanted a few other changes here and there, which were minor, tiny little details, had nothing to do with nudity or sex. And he was like, no. So Italy kept Fantaghiro. And when the meeting was over, I looked at him and said, Lamberto, you're talking about Walt Disney. Now, I know you think Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse and fun and silly, but Disney as a corporation, when they buy a film, they buy a film. Okay? They own it, they have the rights to it, the whole nine yards. Now, that would probably only be in the US. You'd still have your film in Italy, of course, because, who could stop you? But it literally becomes theirs. They trademark it, they copyright it, it's theirs. And then they release it and do whatever they're going to do with it. And he went, oh, okay. So Fantaghiro stayed in Italy. Well, back to what's hilarious about the whole concept of nudity to Italy. There are many Italian directors who really want to grab every single conservative art, censorship person in the world and drag them to a park and say, do you see this statue? This statue was carved by Michelangelo back in such and such century BC. Okay? All right? This is known as classical art. Okay? And guess where it is? Guess where this statue is? That's right, 1 block from my child's kindergarten school. Okay? So, you people, grow up! And you can't fault them for that. They're spending their entire lives working around the works of the greatest classical artists of our entire civilization. They don't think twice about nudity. They don't. And when conservatism tries to hit Italy, they just laugh in your face every single time. And that's one of the hilarious responses of it, and that's also what happened with Fantaghiro. So maybe someday in some century, someone will go, Lamberto, let's retalk this. But you never know. Until then, probably they're going to keep the masterpiece. And, that's just the way it is. Only half the series was dubbed in English anyway. So